lesson one.
Like, that's nice, I hope.
They have it scripted down to,
The teachers, I'm sure like your teachers or lessons, modules, binders, whatever you wanna call them, are exactly like Eureka though.
yes.
So that's the only thing, it's not aligned to what they've done, cause they've done all the dirt work you guys have gone through.
So literally, I'm not gonna lie, this sits up on top of my file cabinet.
$3,000 worth of binders that are just gonna set up.
I know, it sits up, now, I'm not gonna lie, it does have the worksheets, and if you wanna make a copy of a homework something, I did do, I did last year, I made copies of the homework when I had a sub. I would make copies of the homework that's with it, and I would leave that for them to do if I was out for a day, of previous lessons that I've already taught. You know, like if, you know, so it's like they're practicing working on it, and it should be a skill that they already know, and I would leave the homework as their work.
That's a nap binder?
Yes. It is, okay? So, you know, there is homework that goes along with it. I don't send homework home with them like that. We practice our multiplication, we do a times table thing.
Could you go back to your time test? You said you don't grade it unless they've answered every row.
Correct.
So do you have them just check it on their own, or how do you know they don't finish, they only you only collect?
I collect all of them.
You collect all of them?
I collect
but you
all of them.
only actually
I
grade.
only grade the ones that they finish. Now, if I'm going through and I see that they are blatantly missing a lot of them, I will cross it out and put the right answer on there. You know what I mean? But I do not grade every single one if they have not finished they have to finish the page and they have to have it all right. Now my page is only half a page. We started this last year, we were doing like all of the ones. You know, if you mastered all the ones, all of the twos. You know, we would do like, now last year, it was harder. It was half a page instead of a full page, but we started with zeros, okay, and then it went to fives, but it still had the zeros on there. And then we went to tens, and it had the fives and the zeros and the tens.
Oh, I like that.
What we were seeing was that once they passed the ones, they would forget it. Once they passed the twos, they would forget it. Yeah. So now it's still stuck there, and it's like, it may only have 3 questions of fives or whatever, but we're building on it. So then we add the twos to it. And so you've got zeros, fives, tens, twos. And then you added the whatever.
Did
So
you purchase that, or did you create
I
it?
have that.
Crystal
I
Lake
have
is
it
that
in my,
thing.
because I did the popcorn.
I think it's probably the same thing.
Pictures.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and she like adds on to it.
Oh,
So
yeah.
yeah, like she said.
So
like,
do you guys make
I can send it, yeah.
Perfect,
Yeah.
yeah.
send home those like
Yeah, what is your?
So for homework, my homework is literally, I can pull it up maybe. My homework is literally a blank, sheet, and actually, I had them fill out a multiplication table this year. So it was the old school multiplication tables, because when they go to 4th grade, they do multiplication mastery, and it's like on a multiplication table like that, and, yeah. And so we worked on, now the first couple times we had to practice, you know, how to do it, but, yeah, they got really good at it, and that's my homework. They have a week to do it, because I send it home on Friday, it's due back the following Friday. Because I have kids, we're busy, I'm busy, I have 2 kids in sports and all kinds of stuff, so I'm not a huge person on sending homework home every night. Now, I do believe they need to learn to be responsible and hang on to a piece of paper and remember to bring it back and turn it in. And
They
so,
just fill it out all week, and that's kind of.
they can fill it out in class and turn it in early if they want to do that. I require a parent signature, and the parents have checked it. They don't always check it, but they still sign it. And then I have some kids that are doing good to turn it in, you know, because they have no parent involvement whatsoever. I don't penalize them for not having a parent signature. If they turn it in, I give them credit for it. You know what I mean? I don't require them to take it home, get it signed, because I've not talked to their parents all year long. I can't get a hold of their parents. They're doing good to remember to bring a piece of paper back. Okay? So, but that's what we did, and it seems they get a little bit quicker at memorizing their multiplication the more we practice.
How long do you give them on their times tests, like those zeros and then zeros, fives, zeros, fives?
I think we had, gosh, was it 2 minutes? I think it's 2 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a half sheet of paper, and I had one mom that her son was in 3rd grade called me and she's like, man, this is a lot harder and it's only half a sheet. And I'm like, oh, you have no idea. They get stuck for some reason when we get to the 4s. I had a lot of there was a lot of numbers in that stack at that point, and they got stuck on those 4s forever. And then all of a sudden, they got over that hurdle, and it was like they just sailed on through the rest of them. That's why I kept telling Mom, I was like, for some reason, for this 4s, I don't know what the combination is with the numbers. He'll get it, he did. He got, as soon as he got over the 4s, he sailed through the 8s, 9s, 10, all the other ones, but it was just, I don't know if it was the makeup of the way the numbers were it was a lot of them. It was a lot of combinations. But they seem to retain it better.
And you don't let them miss any. Okay.
I mean,
And you start at the very beginning here with that. Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's not me. I think I was like way too lax last year.
Well, it's like,
oh, 2 minutes, no one's done? Okay, when am I minute?
Yeah.
I was like, what is that?
I know. And it's like, I tell them, I'm like, guys, 3rd grade is hard. We expect a lot out of you guys. But my whole purpose is to get you ready for 4th grade, because they're mean at the other buildings. So no, I'm like, no, I don't tell them. I'm like, but my whole purpose is to get you ready for 4th grade, so I start out really mean, and it's like, they step up to the challenge. Does that make sense? They do. They will step up to the challenge, and they get it. It's not easy, and it takes practice, but they do.
So, like, school starts on a Thursday, do you start module 1, lesson 1 that next Monday? When do you start, typically? Like, do you do some
It's a
few things prior, or?
I really don't.
Okay.
I don't. I mean, we will start on Monday. I will start that 9 square. You know what I mean? Like that. And that will literally take me probably most of my math time going over that 9 square the first couple times.
Sure.
That DMR thing that I have that has the 9 boxes. Because we go through and I will go through it with them the first probably couple of times.
Okay.
And then if I will probably middle of the week, or if I feel like, it depends on my class too.
Right.
If they're a pretty quick class, we may go ahead and start on Monday. If they're talkative, we will definitely start on Monday. We'll start on Monday, but usually I give it about a week of us going over procedures, all that kind of stuff, and us just getting through that DMR is sometimes all we can handle. Okay?
We're gonna have a week before we jump in, just to kind of process, because we missed
And
the
to
time.
teach what
I really
they
like
didn't
this.
teach the last quarter.
Teacher,
Yeah.
student, teacher, student.
Oh,
Love it.
See, that was, I can't do
And
that.
the good thing about Embark is which I mean, we're kind of going back and forth with that, but if you can do different grade levels, like if you had a kid that was a lower or something that you needed to, we're saying like the skill sets, like some of our standards are in 2nd grade, they're taught in 2nd grade, so you can get on that with or the Embark, I'm sorry, as well.
You can. So like
If
every
you
grade
need it.
level can do that.
Yeah.
You need a Band-Aid, want me to?
I don't know. I pulled it.
Okay.
I pulled a sting and scab off like a little kid. But
Nerd.
I know. So that's on there, and then this will show you where your topic quizzes fall in as well. Okay, let me see.
And also, if you need the PDFs, like to print something off, if you needed an extra copy of something.
Your sister doesn't. She's got it down.
The Embark lessons that you guys have done, the PDFs are the exact ones that are in the books, right?
I think Missy went through and took off the Engage New York or the Eureka stuff. We have them on our curriculum file.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Because I think she deleted something off of there so that people didn't know it was
It's probably the
Common
Common Core.
Core.
Yeah.
I agree.
Pretty much. So we can only print off the curriculum file. Now, some of the books that we have, I think don't have it on there, so we can print out obviously that also have that.
I'm gonna go make copies of those here in a minute, if that's okay.
Yeah, you can. You can have them. Those are yours.
Are you sure?
Okay. So, do you guys need a break? I'm just like talking forever. Do you need a break or are you good?
I'm good.
Are you good? Tell me if I need to do something.
It's
Okay.
just like it.
Okay.
So.
So,
Winter, and I had like so
you
much
will-
drainage and the bubble stuff coming from it.
Okay, so you'll see here, you'll see that it says topic A, And then it'll have lesson 1, lesson 2, lesson 3, and then it's topic B. So topic A only has 3 lessons in it before you go to the next topic. Okay, so what I would do on my plans, it would be module 1, lesson 1, module 1, lesson 2, module 1, lesson 3, topic quiz A.
Yes.
That's what my lesson plan would look like.
So is there a time whenever like you have a couple days that week that, what do you do if you have extra days?
I just go on to the next one.
You just go on the
Oh,
next one. So
I
like
just
if it's
keep-
like a Thursday, you
Yeah, I just go on to the next one. This is every day. I always, no, sometimes there's 3, sometimes there's 5. That's why I get on here and it tells me where my topic quiz falls in.
Oh.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I forgot to get the topic quiz, so I may have taught the next lesson and then had to go back to do the topic quiz, okay? I try really hard not to do a topic quiz on a Monday because they've had all weekend to forget the stuff. So, if I have to, I jam that topic quiz in after I've taught the lesson, just so that I can retain the information. Okay.
So, well, I'm just wondering, you said it shows you, where does it show you, like, at what point you give the topic quiz?
So,
You said the end.
oh, can I? Okay, good. Good, okay. Let's see. Okay.
And hey, guys, when we're doing our,
Maybe it needs to be.
when we're doing our learning menus, like when we're planning 3 weeks in advance, we'll have all this written out, so that everyone will be on the same page.
Yeah.
So it'll make it a little bit easier too.
have for your math section?
45 minutes.
Okay. So you don't, we have like
So,
90?
We allotted more time this year,
yeah.
which you could
So
use
when
Center
there's-
or Zern.
We have, so we have whole
Yeah,
group and then we have small group.
Yeah.
So I have 45 minutes and then 45 minutes. So I have about, but,
Yeah.
yeah. So I have 45 minutes for my whole group. That's for teaching that, this, all that. Okay?
Do you do small groups, so what about, do you know what you're gonna do this year since
No. I have no idea.
What have you done in the past for small groups besides the mountain math?
I'll do mountain math and then sometimes I have, we bought last year, I'm drawing, Versatiles. And so literally, I don't know if you've ever seen those or not, I wrote a grant for it through our foundation and I shared it with, but that way, I bought the whole set because I can differentiate between, I have some kids that may be first, second grade. I can pull from the book on first and second grade, they can self-check, cause I don't know if you've ever seen those Versatiles, but it's literally like a little, I don't know how to say it, it's a little hard cover thing, and it has 12 little, chips in it, okay? Well, they have colors on the back of them, I'm gonna Google it real quick. And they have colors on the back of it, and as they put their answer in their correct spot, at the bottom of the piece of paper, it has the design that they should come up with, so they can self-check, and I don't really have to do it. And we may be working on, like there's addition. So I may have some that are working on single, double digit addition. I may have my higher kids working on multiplication. Maybe working on measurement. Depending on what it is. Those 6 standards that I was telling you about, that's another where I'm working on those, focusing on those 6 standards as my essential standards. They have to know them. Addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, time, and money.
Do you remember how much it cost for a set, a classroom set?
I got enough Versatiles for like each one of us. There's only 4 math teachers, but we teach 2 classes. I got enough for each one of us to have 6 Versatiles. It was maybe $600 or something like that. And we wrote I had to write a grant. We have a foundation, and I wrote a grant, and that was one of the things that, it works good because I can go make copies of what I need to make copies of, and then my kids are color coded. And so it's like if you're in the green group, this is the worksheet you pull from. If you're in the yellow group, this is whatever you want to label them, but this is, and they can do again, that's back at their desk. I'm sorry, but they go get it, it's back at their desk, they can work on it, and they can do it 2 or 3 times, and it's like, but then they close the lid, they flip it over, and then they look to see if the design is the same at the bottom. It's been around forever. I didn't even know about them. They were throwing them away because they were the old design. And I was like, these are kind of cool looking. Well, we didn't have all of the books to go with it, so I kind of started researching it, and I was like, this is in genius. Like, this is amazing. These kids I can differentiate with it. They can grade on their own. They can do all this.
So do the kids like it?
They do. They love it. They enjoy it because they can sit there and it's kind of like a little game. I pulled them back in like groups of 2 to 3 the first time, showing them how to do it, because it does take a little bit of, because it's like the questions are up here and you have to be like, okay, number 1 is letter A. So then your chip is letter, like number 1 goes in box A. So we had to practice it a couple of times before I could let them go independently. But
If they get it wrong, doesn't it show?
the pattern's off. And so then they have to go back and figure out where they messed up. And so it is all self-checked. I mean, they do it all on their own. I've had them switch with a partner and have the partner check it and make sure they did it right. I mean, you can do a lot of things with it. But I'm not involved, so it's great. I can work on that. See if I can find a picture of it. But so that's a couple of things I did.
Really?
Let me see if I can find a picture of them real quick.
The problem will be sharing, so.
Okay, here's a picture of them. Can you see that? Okay, I don't know what it does. Oh, that's loud. That's what the pictures look like. This is where they struggle, where you have to kind of teach them how to put number 1 in letter whatever. Once they get it, they're super at it. Close it, flip it over, and there's the design. So, that's literally what it was. Oh gosh, wrong button. Just another way for us to work on hitting those 6 essential standards that, like I said, that we focus on through the whole year.
So you can use these throughout the year?
Mhm.
Share the 6 standards?
Yep. So like what we've done is we've gone to the PLC at Work stuff, and a lot of the stuff they've talked about there is you have butterfly lessons, you have lessons that you really want to ingrain in them that you want them to know. And so last year we spent all year trying to figure out. First year we did it, we completely blew the mark on that one. We went off of the math test, and we were like, oh gosh, we have to teach 25 standards and make sure they know them all, and oh god, it was horrible. Okay, so then this last year we revamped it, and it was like, no, we only talked to 4th grade, and we actually sent a note down to 2nd grade and said, okay, here's what we would really like them to know coming into 3rd grade, And it's stuff that they teach them, but just us working on getting vertically aligned, it was like, if you could work with them on addition and subtraction. We know that they know addition, but just continually. Money, rounding, there's not a lot of rounding taught in 2nd grade, but if they could just touch on it, because it's not exposed in, Eureka doesn't teach it, it does teach it, but it's like 3 lessons. Okay, that's one that you're gonna have to really work on. Rounding is one that they won't, that's where we pull from our other stuff. And so, the way they teach it's really good. They have it on a number line. Here's half. Where does this fall in here? And I use that, but it's about 2 to 3 lessons. So you're gonna wanna really incorporate that.
Those power standards that we'll hit on throughout the year, like we're piecing in different parts, like that they're not part of that curriculum, but that we're piecing in. That's how we've done it this year.
So, that one's one that you're gonna wanna, I hit that one all year long. Like every time, we sit there and
Good to know.
it's like we hit that one from day 1 because they don't do a lot of rounding in 2nd grade to begin with. So we start from day 1.
So does this morning work cover that?
It does have rounding in it. It does. It doesn't start with it, but it will get to it. And so it does even, it covers pretty much, like I said, it was one of those finds that we were like, it's pretty cool. Yeah, this is pretty cool. It's hitting all our gaps that we need to make sure, because Eureka does not really in third grade, it doesn't do addition or subtraction. Well, I still have kids that struggle with addition and subtraction all year long, you know, so that way we can work on it at least once a day, if not more. And then, you know, it does a great job teaching multiplication. You will have most of your kids that are really pretty good at multiplication by the time you leave. You know, it really is. If you really, you know, you've got to focus on those skills of, I make them do an array, do a tape diagram, do a, you know, one thing I'm kind of a tape diagram nerd, and it's like word problems, tape diagram does an amazing job, okay? I don't know if you guys have ever seen a tape diagram, but it's literally, I can't write on that thing, so, okay, so like, it's like this, okay? And let's say they had there was 7 pencils and then they added 4 more, okay? Simple, okay? So I've got my 7 pencils on this side, and they added 4 more. What's my total? Okay, so if I have to figure out the total, then I know I'm adding, okay? If I know my total, I'm either subtracting or dividing, okay? So if this box filled in, then I'm subtracting or dividing. If these 2 spots are filled in, I'm adding or multiplying, okay? So it's a picture. Does that make sense? Like, it gives them a visual so that they can kind of understand it. They're breaking it's great for word problems, okay? And one of the questions you had was module 7, it's at the end. Last year, the past couple years, we hadn't even hardly touched module 7 because we do a word problem a day, okay? And so we start simple with addition and subtraction, and then we work our way up to multiplication and division. There is an application problem that goes along with Eureka, but what we found out was it literally was like, hey, we're learning multiplication, here's a multiplication problem. Like, they didn't have to think. Yeah, they didn't have to think, you know, it was like, hey, we're working on multiplication, here's a multiplication problem for you. So we like it where they have to literally try and, are we talking about groups, which is multiplication, or are we talking about single things? If it's single things, we're adding. You know, do we know the total? If we know the total, it's either subtraction or division. Do we have groups or do we not have groups? You know, so we literally have a word problem a day we work on. It takes us, I'm not kidding, 2 minutes. And then as the school year goes along, that's another thing I incorporate into their morning work. And so
where did you just accumulate those?
Singapore Math is where we got it. I thought I had a book of it, but I can send over a book to you guys. Group was slow printing stuff last year. I just typed them out on a Google form and just printed them out in sets of 30, so they had like a little over a month set at a time. Let me see if I can find it.
I brought like 100 word problems on Teacher Pay Teacher too last year. We need them.
Okay.
So also our interactive notebooks would be good for hitting on those 6 things too as a supplement, right? I know, from last year, like all those.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Like we could still, I mean, if we didn't have the money to get like extra things, we could still use the
Yeah, you can come up
interactive
with,
notebook, yeah, to, like for any extra time to work on those 6 skills.
Yeah, because it sounds like we'll have time.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, and we asked for the notebook still on the, so that's something we have
So
already.
you don't
we can use.
teach module 7 out.
past 2 years I haven't because we were closed for flooding and we were closed for,
Oh my gosh, how funny, I forgot.
yeah.
Well,
I forgot
true.
about that.
So, I mean,
But would you have,
if I did, I would have skimmed over it really quick.
So you don't think it's necessary is what you're saying?
I
You
pull from so
cover
much
that.
other stuff that I
You cover
literally.
throughout the year.
Yes, yes. We usually save module 7. The goal was to save module 7 for like after testing, before they push testing back. But just as a refresh, yeah, just a refresher type of thing. So, that's kind of what we've done with that.
that was one
Yeah.
thing that Penny, wanted me to ask, the one on vacation for 2
Mhm.
weeks, was about module 7,
Yeah.
because we were like, what? That's
Yeah.
after testing?
Yeah, we've tried, the more you teach it, the quicker you'll get at it, okay? But, and I've said that, but the fastest we've ever been is probably through module 6 before spring break. Tuesday, we're taking a topic quiz, and then I may go ahead and teach the next lesson. Because, I mean, yeah, it is literally, that is an everyday thing.
take a full day just to.
No, because then you're like, the topic quiz, I do not rush them on the topic quiz, okay? And it's your choice. I've done it both ways, where I tell them, guys, sometimes we've kept all the pages in until we're done with the topic quiz. And I tell them, dude, go back and look at your exit ticket. Go look at it, you know?
Yeah.
Some of them take advantage of them, some of it don't. Some of them don't, okay? So I mean, sometimes I've kept all the pages
So
in.
that they could use it on that.
It's an open book topic, it's an open book quiz, you know? Now, some of them, no. Some of them, they get it right because they've already, I mean, some of them are just high enough that they don't need it. I use that as some of my lower ones where I'm like, guys, hint, go look at your book, you know? And we've kept the pages in there till we're done with the topic, and then we tear them all out and take them home. I mean, the exit ticket questions are what's on the topic quiz. It is, it's the same, and I have some of my kids, they're like, we had this question 2 days ago. Good, get it right. You know, like, come on. I'm trying to see if you can remember it. You know, it's like, geez. So, yeah, you can do that too. That's another option. I mean, like I said, it's been trial and error till it fits what I am wanting it to do. Does that make sense? Okay. So, this one, I save, but I don't use it as much anymore because I kind of know what I'm doing. Okay, this will be, Embark will be like your favorite website the first year. It has the videos on there, it has all that stuff. Okay, I have it, but I don't use it nearly as much. I use it to tell me when I'm supposed to give a topic quiz. Okay, the one that I use a lot more now is Grade Minds. That's another one you're gonna wanna save.
Before you move on,
Yes.
can you just show us what you're looking at to determine where your topic quiz comes from?
Yeah, so,
I think I missed that.
okay, so it says topic A. You see that right there?
Yes.
Okay, so my topic quiz is right here.
She went to 3rd grade first.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Right.
3rd grade.
But how do you know, like, how many lessons before?
I'll show you. Okay, so here's that, topic A. There's lesson 1, lesson 2, lesson 3. You see those?
Yes.
And then it goes on to topic B. So I know that the first 3 lessons are in topic A.
Okay.
Okay.
I missed that. Thank you.
Yeah, you're fine. Topic B quiz is right there. And then it's like, okay, lesson 4, lesson 5.
So where was the topic
So
A
the
quiz?
topic
It
quiz
says-
is
it's
above
at
the
very
lesson.
top.
Yes.
It says there's some kind of newsletter. Do you send home a newsletter?
No, it'll confuse the parents.
Okay, so
It'll
it's
confuse the
okay.
parents.
Yeah.
It'll be like, you'll have enough questions already.
Okay.
When you see it change topic, when you know
Then
that's
you
where.
know.
Now, there is inside, I just thought of this, inside your big binder here, there is, it breaks it down, I just remembered this. It breaks it down into the topics as well.
Is that the lesson?
That's the lesson. So it tells you where topic A,
So that's
these
the
are these 3
$3,000
lessons.
there.
So there's what you spent your money on, right there, just so you can break it down.
I'm gonna set you up for success.
3 lessons.
Yeah.
Topic quiz, 3 lessons.
So then you would like
4
do,
lessons.
sorry, so you would like
Yeah.
Monday lesson 1, Tuesday lesson 2,
Yep.
Wednesday lesson 3 and topic?
Depends.
3?
Depends on how hard the lesson is. That makes sense? How much time it takes me to teach it. Okay? I could do the topic quiz the next day
Yeah.
and then,
And then move on to lesson 4?
yes.
Or whatever, yeah.
Because you will have some lessons that take a little bit longer. Okay? Especially your first year. You know, I can look now and I'll be like, oh, they're not gonna get this one, but I'm gonna teach it anyway. You know? And it's like, I'm not gonna stress over them getting it. Does that make sense? I'm gonna teach it and I'm gonna be like, okay, y'all, we're gonna do this. This is a 4th grade skill, but you're gonna pay attention because you're gonna be smart in 4th grade, okay? So, here we go. You know, and so I tell them, I'm like, this is over your 3rd grade brains need to know, but you guys are so smart, we're not gonna skip it, we're gonna do it anyway. Okay? So, we go over it, but honestly, I don't spend tons of time making sure that they grasp it. Like my higher kids, I may make sure that I'm like, hey, what did you do there? You know, like, making sure they get it because they can probably comprehend it. But my lower kids, I may walk them through step by step just to kind of keep them up, but I I don't care, you know, cause it's way over their level, some of them. You will find some of them you're like, okay, Lord. You know, but most of them, like I said, multiplication and division, they do an amazing job teaching it. The skill, like the tools that they use, that they provide to them, it's amazing. I learned how to multiply and divide again, like literally, I'm good at it now. I am, I'm good at it, so, I didn't, sorry, no, you're good.
On these that you wrote omit, did you get that from?
The pacing guide.
Okay,
Yes,
so did you omit every one that they said to omit?
yes,
Or,
heck
okay.
yeah.
And I know.
And it wasn't an
exactly.
issue on the quizzes.
I would delete those questions. So like, it's a Google form.
So you can delete.
Oh, yeah. There'll be some that you even teach the lesson and you still delete the question.
We've
because
already
you don't,
done this.
they're not gonna know
We've
it,
already done
you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, yeah, you wanna look at this? Oh, that's good. Does anyone look at this? This?
Penny's already omitted the ones that.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's, like I said, the topic quizzes that I gave you, that's when you'll wanna kinda, you will module 1 I've given to you, but module 2, 3 as you go along. It's a Google Doc, okay, so you make a copy of it, and then you can edit, do whatever you want. I always go in, it doesn't give you a spot to put their name, so I go up there and put name. Oh no, cause if there's not a spot to put their name, they're not gonna see and put their name on it, so drives me nuts if there's not a spot to put their name. So, there will be some, as you're teaching that lesson,